Katie,
Yeah?
what do you do if you see a spaceman?
Dunno.
Park in it, man. Katie, what does Santa suffer from when he gets stuck in a chimney? Claustrophobia. Katie, what do snowmen wear on their heads? Ice caps.
Maybe when you think about joy at this time, this is what comes to mind. Like terrible Christmas cracker jokes. Or a family member or friend who constantly speaks in puns. God has been showing me again how powerful joy is this year. You know, as Jesus followers, our joy isn't Christmas cracker joy. It's not small or glib, but flows from the reality of who Jesus is and the hope that he's coming again to make all things new. You know, over the past months, I've found myself drawn to Philippians chapter 4, particularly verses 4 and 5, where St. Paul says this: "Rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near." You know, we can rejoice always, according to St. Paul. Why? Because the Lord is near. You know, when God takes on flesh, he looks like Jesus. And I've become increasingly convinced that when hope takes on flesh in our lives, it looks like joy. And I think we need true joy more than ever this year. You know, for some, joy may well feel like the least appropriate response, given everything that has happened, perhaps even vaguely offensive. But the good news is that the joy God brings is never at the expense of denying or belittling our pain. It isn't about ignoring hurt or putting on a brave face. Because the joy we find in Jesus is joy with a cross in it. You know, there's nothing funny about a crucified man. Nothing funny or joyful about a global pandemic and social isolation and economic fallout. But after the cross comes resurrection. The story wasn't over then, and it's not over now. You know, we can be carriers of joy because the darkness and pain of our world is passing away. We know how the story ends. And so we can limp with a smile. We can bear bruises with a laugh, even dance with tears. Because King Jesus, who was born to us at Christmas, is alive and reigning now. Every other kingdom will pass away, but his kingdom will have no end. You know, I'm starting to believe that the more seriously we take this story, the more seriously we live in it, the more full of joy we should be. And our joy itself can become a witness to those around us that there is hope, that his name is Jesus, and that darkness and despair does not have the final word. So here's my question. Do you believe that your joy has power? Ask the Holy Spirit again this week to fill you with his joy. And as you take up the challenge in the Advent book to fill a jar with things that you're thankful for, remember that you too are God's joy.